I want to be that for the Joe Budden Podcast with Rory and Maul. And that's one thing I think people don't understand. They see it as an obsession. And I understand sometimes when you make something pop off, you're going to look obsessed. Who would have known that, I could come into a lane that was pretty crowded and get busy and work hard, right? A lot of people keep telling me, oh, Danny, Joe's the reason you got hot. I understand. I understand the whole tone of that. But I always say
I
no
said
to
it, Chad.
jab at
I
those
said it.
people just to kind of point out, like, Joe could never make anyone post thumbnails. He could never make anyone post over 500 videos. He could never make anyone do hundreds of thousands of hours of Twitter spaces. Like, Joe didn't do that for me. And to me, Joe had nothing to do with how I got hot. I'm sorry. It angers a lot of people. I think a lot of people feel like I should donate some of my earnings to Joe, but no. Joe had nothing.
Danny, you 1000% should be sending that boy a check every month. Every first of the month, you should be sending that boy something.
To do with how I got hot. I'm sorry. It angers a lot of people. I think a lot of people feel like I should donate some of my earnings to Joe, but no.
Not some, all of it.
I work harder, I think, than some people on the Joe Budden Podcast. Well, probably most people outside of Parks, pardon the noise in the background, Rory, not Rory, Ish, Ice. I work harder than some of those folks. I don't know nobody anything. This is something I've done. This is something I've outlined. But back to what Joe said.
Danny, you go really sit there and say you do more work than Ish, Melissa, Ice put together. Let us know if you out here doing construction work as a part-time job. Last time I checked, you're not even on the Joe Budden Podcast. So how could you be working harder than them? How you know what type of hours they putting in? Danny? Danny, how you supposed to know how many hours they putting in? Let us know. How you putting in more hours than them? Cause you putting up 500 thumbnails?
Joe could never make anyone post thumbnails. He could never make anyone post over 500 videos. Jab at those people.
Danny, you telling me posting thumbnails, making little captions, making little 5-second videos is outworking Ish, Rory, Ice, Melissa. YouTube, please put in the chat. Danny said with a straight face, he outworking these boys because he putting out 5-minute video clips. He writing out a little caption with Joe Budden name in it 90% of the time and making a thumbnail. Let's hear him say it.
Well, just to kind of point out, like, Joe could never make anyone post thumbnails. He could never make anyone post over 500 videos. He could never make anyone do hundreds of thousands of hours of Twitter spaces. Like, Joe.
Nobody ain't tell you to do no Twitter space, Danny. Who told you to do a Twitter space? Damn near, I could do a Twitter space sitting on the toilet for 15 hours too. Anybody can sit on a Twitter space. Danny, stop all that, bro. You obsessed. You obsessed.
Like, years from now, when people talk about the breakup, they won't be able to say that story without this channel. Sort of like how Choke No Joke was someone who people look for information about the Rockefeller breakup. I want to be that for the Joe Budden Podcast with Rory and Maul. And that's one thing I think people don't understand. They see it as an obsession, and I understand.
Danny, you giving out false information. All you do is give out bad hot takes. All you do is just want to critique every member of the pod. Nothing informative. You don't got no source up in the Joe Budden Podcast. Just because you was up there in Twitter spaces with Joe Budden doesn't mean that you got some sources. You don't know nothing about what's in the inner working. You make 5-minute video clips talking like you be knowing what's going on in the pod. YouTube, I'm gonna give you an example. Danny was the first one to say Joe Budden lost his prize pick still. After everyone said, slow down, bro, slow down. Football, basketball season over now, Danny. Here go Danny. Oh my gosh, guys. Joe Budden didn't shout out prize picks. You know what that means? He lost the deal. What? Danny, where you getting your information from? I don't know. He just didn't shout him out on that episode. How about Danny? Football season was over. Basketball season was over. Why is prize pick giving out money for nothing? Why would Prize Pick give out money if the basketball season is over with, football season is over with, Danny? Everybody in the YouTube told you that. Danny still want to act like he a big dog, think he got sources, and say, nah, it can't be that. It can't be because the season is over with. It just can't be because there ain't nothing going on in sports. Danny, that's how I know you don't watch sports. I know you trying to do your little fantasy draft. You trying to learn. Danny, this is what I'm saying. All you do is give out bad, negative information. You just want to critique everybody. Why you ain't tell them that these boys still got the Prize Picks deal? Why you ain't come on and say, yo guys, my apologies. My sources was wrong. My information was wrong. I don't know nothing about sports. Nah, Danny just want to be quiet. We ain't hear Danny say not one thing about it. Danny, if you go be that person that want to give out proper information and be that reliable source, then you need to come correct when you putting out bad information. How about you make a little 5-minute video clip and apologize, saying that, Joe, I apologize that I called out saying that you lost your Prize Picks deal. How about you do that, Danny? Then you out here critiquing every episode, talking about this episode bad, these boys dry. Danny, if these boys went out for 2 months, where you go get your clips from? Who you go talk about? How your numbers go look? How your episode go look? My point exactly. Stop critiquing, bro. Stop critiquing. Just enjoy the pod. Let me show y'all what Danny want to show y'all on his little YouTube.
Send those pics in. What we running with today?
You already know.
Joe, Trav is about to go off tonight.
Facts. That's the play.
Run it, and I'll see y'all tonight.
We might have to run that.
I told y'all to run that. Come on now. You said it. Come on. You said it.
Download the Prize Picks.
Danny, what that look like, Danny? Danny, what does that look like to you, Danny? Danny, what does that look like to you, Danny? Danny, what does that look like to you? This is what I'm talking about. YouTube, stop listening to Danny give out false narratives. This is what we're talking about, Danny. This is why no one doesn't like you on the pod. You be talking like you know, but you don't. You talking like you got the info, but you don't. Joey is in a whole different tax bracket. We know what Juicy doing out here in these streets. We know what Juicy doing. Stop talking like you know, bro. Just stop. Just enjoy the episode. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But you don't need to nitpick every minute of the episode. You don't need to nitpick every topic. It's no way. There's other things in the news to talk about, Danny. You don't gotta nitpick everything. You make a video about that. Own up to your mistakes before you say you're a reliable source giving out information. It's your boy So Live, we out.